Hello and welcome to Crypto Weeklies. In this video, we are going to discuss the power of Ethereum related narratives. None of the content is financial advice. Let's get started. So this is the narrative word cloud available on cryptoweeklies.com, link on the bottom of your screen. So this tracks what are the popular narratives over the last 7 days in terms of increasing term frequency on social media related platforms and discussions related to crypto such as on YouTube and X. Over the last 7 days, the narrative associated with ETH and its flagship project Ethereum have outshined even Bitcoin for that matter. Lot of discussion related to stable coins, overall market related bullish sentiment, and the diminishing size of Ether's competitors in terms of Ether's own rising market cap share in the crypto market. You can see over the last key performance period, the ETH dominance has now rose to 11.5%. At one point, Bitcoin dominance and ETH dominance, you can see over the last 1 year or so, or to be more precise, over the last 30 days, not too long ago, that is in early July of 2025, early to mid July of 2025, ETH dominance was less than 10%. Over the course of 1 year, let's focus only on ETH dominance over here. What we can do is instead of Bitcoin, only focusing on ETH. As evidenced by this chart, the dominance chart, again, there has been this blue line denotes the ETH dominance at one point less than 7.5% in April of 2025. Following that dip, there has been a resurgence on the ETH dominance. From cycle to cycle, what you can see in 2017, ETH dominance was at one point really close to Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance was at around 37%. ETH dominance was 31%. That was during the ICO phase in the asset class. Then in 2019, ETH dominance came back to lower 7.5%, similar to what it was in 2025. Bitcoin dominance back then in 2019 was at around 68%, quite similar to what it was in late June 2025 at around 65%, so somewhere close to that 65%. But since then, in 2019 and following bull cycle of 2021, Bitcoin dominance fell to 44%, whereas ETH dominance came close to that 20% and again overshot the 20% mark in late 2021. Right now, ETH dominance is at around 11%. If it were to be around 20%, and let's say the crypto asset class right now is coming in at as a total crypto market cap at currency market cap is currently coming in at around to 3.66 trillion over here, market cap of the entire asset class, that is the cryptocurrency asset class. Over a period of 1 year, at one point, during the mania phase of 2025, late July 2025, market cap came shy of about 4 trillion. If in the later half of 2025, the asset class market cap goes to that range of between 5 trillion and 6 trillion, we can do a what if analysis over here and assign a 20% share of that 5 trillion to ETH. The market cap of ETH in such an environment would be, you can calculate that in Wolfram Alpha. So let's say the the entire asset class market cap goes to 5 trillion, out of which ETH dominance at that peak is close to that 20% target. ETH's market cap could be at around 1 trillion. Right now, ETH market cap currently comes at around what you can see over here is in at around less than 420, close to 420 billion. At 420 billion, the price of ETH is at around 3,500. So if the market cap of ETH were to be at around 1 trillion, we can solve for that equation. Roughly speaking, there are about 120 million ETH tokens. So if we divide that 1 trillion market cap of potential market cap of ETH during the peak at divided by 120 million ETH tokens, the price of ETH in that environment would be close to $8,300. Coincidentally, this is what the machine learning based model trained on the price action of ETH since 2017 says. The price action at around euphoria phase, the 2 standard deviation bull case for ETH, captured by this orange line towards the end of the year and slightly early in 2026, peaks at around 8,200 per this forecast for ETH, trained on seasonal using seasonal ARIMA and LSTM and XGBoost based machine learning model and the price historical price action with a 95 percentile confidence that if there is a euphoria case for the asset class with ETH participating in that euphoria environment, price could go to $8,200. Not too far from the $8,300 per the market cap based analysis. What if let's stretch this analysis even further? Let's say the peak in terms of the market cap towards the end of 2025, it goes to about 6 trillion, and that would be about in terms of from that 4 trillion peak, it would be about a 50% higher at the blow off top phase for the crypto asset class. If let's say the entire asset class goes to 6 trillion and let's say ETH makes up about 20% of that 6 trillion asset class, the market cap of ETH would be close to that 1.2 trillion, again 1 trillion 200 billion dollars. So roughly speaking, 1.2 trillion 1.2 trillion divided it by 120 million, you get the idea. That would be 10,000. So price of 1 ETH, provided that the number of tokens stay close to that 120 million, which they have for the longest time. You can check that out on ultrasound money, the website for this analysis over here. That is since 2 years 322 days, so almost 3 years since the ETH merge, the supply has changed only by about 426,000 over that period, where about 2.4 million ETH were issued, out of which 2 million were burned. So this is the tokenomics which has led the token supply for ETH to be constant close to that 120 million mark. You can check historical times snapshot for ETH. Now you can see over here in June 23rd June 2024, the circulating supply was at around 122 million. Now it is much lower than that. Taking more historical snapshot of ETH, let's say since the merge in 2022, that's when ETH supply, let's say towards the end of year 2022, November 2022, the supply of ETH was at around 122 million. Now it's close to 120 million. That is, again, there is still some delta in terms of the calculation, but you can see the since the merge, this is essentially the ETH supply since the merge. You can see at one point since September 2022, the ETH supply was at around 120.5 million. Then it went as low as about 120 million and then kind of skyrocketed from that point since May 2024, and then has skyrocketed to that 120 roughly speaking 121 million, but took a lot of time. And if you compare that with Bitcoin's tokenomics, and at that point, at the similar point, number of bitcoins were at around 19.1 million. Now about 19.8 million BTCs in circulation, so about 1.3% year over year inflation, whereas ETH inflation is only 0.12%. So again, these kind of things, again, if they coincide with the blow off top, as we discussed using the what if analysis and the machine learning based price forecast, the 2 standard deviation euphoria case for ETH is at around $8,200. The 3 standard deviation 99.7 percentile confidence that the peak is within the bounds of the red line, if there is a euphoria or a major rally in the asset class in the next 6 months, that ceiling again close to that $10,700 late December 2025. That is permissible if the asset class were to go to that 6 trillion range, and if ETH becomes 20% of that asset class. With that, I'd like to conclude the video. Hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please give us a like and subscribe, and hope to see you again tomorrow. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye bye.